We're going to be using our Hobbii Honey Bunny, our size 6 hook. We've got some buttons, scissors, needles, and of course we're going to be using fiber fill. So to begin, we are going to chain 2, and into the first chain we'll single crochet 9. Alright, for round 2, we're just going to increase into each stitch around, giving us 18 stitches. And for the next round, what we're going to do is move up to 27 stitches by going single crochet, increase, single crochet, crochet, increase 9 times, so taking us up to 27 stitches. Alright, there we go. So now from here on up to round 18, what we're going to do is we're going to build up the side. So we're only going to be single crocheting in the round, 27 stitches all the way around, up to round 18. So we'll see you when we've done that. And my boy Gibby is here, he's joining us. So now I've come to the end of round 18. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to start to stuff it in a bit, but what I want to do now is start to decrease this into a bit smaller. So we'll go single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease around, taking it down to 18 stitches. Alright, here we go. So you can see that the gap is getting narrower. And what we'll do now is just single crochet around. So 18 stitches on this round. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stuff this, and just be careful when you're stuffing it, because you don't want to just shove a bunch of fiber fill in. You want to make sure that you're supporting it from the outside and just adding little bits as you go, sort of filling it and shaping it as you go. You can kind of see how I'm holding it and supporting it on the end there. You want to stuff it firmly, but not so the stuffing shows through the stitches. And that's one of the good things about using maybe a smaller hook size than what you're used to when you're doing stuffed animals and amigurumi. It makes the tension tighter, the stitches get tighter. So I'm just going to keep poking in a little bit of stuffing as I go. Take it off of Gibby there. It's landing on his head, but he doesn't really seem to mind. And we'll get it on in there. Starting to look good. Now, yep, so I'm shaping it. So I do want to just mention, oh, where's my, looking for, there. He's laying on it. There it is. My blunt tapestry needle. Okay, Gibby, you can lay down again. So I'm just going to pull out some of the stuffing just to distribute it better. There we go. And now that looks good. And I need to add a little bit more stuffing there. And let's see how we go. Okay, yep, that looks good. So we'll get the yarn back onto the hook. This will be our last round. We're going to decrease around, and we're going to go really, really slow, because as you see, we have to be careful that we don't catch that fiber fill in the stitches, which now I have already here. I can see. I'll try to get it out. Can I get it out? Oh, this is going to just keep coming out, isn't it? Yep. All right, go back in. So I will struggle with this. I'm decreasing around 9 times, taking us down to 9 stitches. And I'm going to just end with a slip stitch and then fasten off, leaving about 9 inches there. It is too much to fasten off, but we always want to leave a long tail. We want a lot to work with when we're finishing up. So I'll just pop it onto my tapestry needle here, and we'll just gather the front loops of the last round. And again, I'm just being careful so that I don't accidentally get a bunch of fiber fill. There we go, just about done. And I'm going to pull it tightly at the end here. And tie a knot to fasten it off. And I'm going to just poke this through a couple times. So this is why we want to have a nice long tail to poke it through a few times. Otherwise, if you cut your tail off too short, I'm sure this has happened to you, it will work its way out and there's no way to hide it. So when you have a longer tail, they tend to stay in. Okay, this looks great. I think he looks really good. So our next job now is we're going to make the arms. So our little guy holds a heart, as you know. So we're going to get our green yarn back onto our hook, and I'm going to leave kind of a 4 to 6 inch tail, and you'll know why. You'll see why pretty soon. Okay, so let's chain 6. 1, 2, and when you're doing these chains, don't make them too tight. You want to be able to get that that hook back in. We're going to work back towards the chain. So we're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we are going to okay, and 5. Okay, and now we're going to fasten this off. We're going to leave about 9 inches again. Let's do that again so that we have 2 arms all together, obviously. All right, I've got my 2 arms. Now it's time to crochet the heart. The heart might take you a few tries. Just take it easy. So to start, we chain 4. And of course you see that we have our red yarn on there, chain 4, and then join with a slip stitch into that first chain. Okay, so see I've got that hole there. That's what I'm going to be working into. Chain 2, and now we're going to triple crochet. There's 1 triple crochet, and let's do that again. So I'm yarning over twice. I'm going to poke it into the hole, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw up 2 loops, yarn over, draw through. Well, I did that pretty fast. Let's do another triple crochet. And now we're going to do double crochet into that same hole. This is just one side of our heart. So there's one double crochet and our second double crochet, and then we're going to chain one and do a triple crochet again. This is the point of the heart. Okay, chain one and double crochet into the hole once, double crochet another time. Okay, and let's do a triple crochet and let's do another triple crochet. And let's do one more triple crochet. And chain one, chain two, and slip stitch into the center hole. Okay, there we go. There's our heart. I'm going to just fasten it off about 6 inches or so. And I'm going to just turn it over and I'm going to tie a knot. So I'm just sort of shaping it right now. I'm just going to tie a knot to make that little point, that little divot. I want it to be quite tight there. I want the two bumps to kind of show up. Okay, there we go. So there's our heart. All right, there's our heart. And yeah, it looks good. I'm just going to trim these tails. And I'm going to show you a trick a little later on how to deal with those tails once we get it onto our pickle. So let's get these arms going. So you're going to take that long tail first and just put it kind of almost at the center of the body. Just poke it through one time. Then you're going to position your heart so that it's on the body and then kind of underneath that little hand almost. Poke it through both the heart and the hand and then turn it around, poke it back through the hand and then up to the side of the body again, and then you can tie that off. And hide those ends. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, he's looking so cute. We'll tuck that little tail in, kind of do a little bit of shaping right now. And now what we get to do is my favorite part. We're going to add the face. So I'm just going to grab, now this one I'm using is the Hobbii Friends 100% cotton. It's a size 8/8, so it's still fairly small. I love it actually. It's probably my favorite kind of yarn. Okay, poke that through. Now, as we put these eyes on, I do want to remind you that if your piece is going to be intended for people that are 3 and under, you can't use buttons. We can't use anything that's going to be a choking hazard, we are not going to use. So that includes safety eyes. Safety eyes, by the way, I've never found a pair that I actually would call safety eyes. Especially with crochet, they tend to work through the stitches, and I know that there are lots of different tricks that people use, but I just tend to, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to use buttons, but again, not for people that are under 3. So now I'm going to just poke it over because now I've got these buttons on, and I'm going to do my little mouth. So I'm going to do 2 straight stitches in a V, centered evenly between the eyes. The eyes, by the way, are about 4 stitches apart. So there's my first part of the mouth, my first straight stitch, and then I'm going to poke it back up to where that original one came out. And the one thing with blanket and chenille yarn is sometimes these details kind of get lost a little bit. So you could use even a thicker yarn for the mouth. It would probably show up a little bit more if you use just even a worsted weight. But that's okay, I'm happy with this. And we'll just hide those knots, and we're almost finished. There's a few finishing touches that we are going to add. These are the finishing touches, to me, are the ones that really make the Fat Lady crochet things stand out. So let's add those things. I'm starting with my pink yarn. We're going to add some cheeks. So this is going to be 2 straight stitches, one on top of the other, just below the eye, and then about 2 stitches on the pickle in length. Then I'm going to poke it over to the other side and do the same thing. And like I said, these little added touches, they do add a bit of time, but they really add to the piece. And people really, I mean, they add to the cute factor, right? People really like them. Okay, here we go. Tie this off. And we'll just poke that in. I don't know if you can hear the creaking. My house is old, and my daughter is upstairs walking around. Okay, there we go. And just poke that through. Okay, so there are the cheeks, and now we just have actually have 2 final things to do. What we're going to do now, we're going to add some shine to these eyes. So my art teacher in junior high always said you have to add eye shine unless you want dead eyes. So I'm doing white acrylic paint with a bamboo skewer and just adding a little line along the bottom left curve and 2 little dots on the upper right. And that's it. That's how easy it is. You'll see that most of my pieces have these eyes. They're just so easy. And I mean, you can just get those black buttons anywhere. And the final thing that we'll do is we're going to use some tacky glue just to fasten that that heart down and make sure that those 2 tails, the heart tails, don't come popping through. Now, I know you'll be able to see the glue, but once it dries, you can't see it. And there we go. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed that. I think Gibby enjoyed that. Thanks for joining me, and please send me pictures. I love to see your Fat Lady crochet creations. And have a great day. Catch you later.